As we enter the new year, I want to remind you to have vision over your life. Hi, I'm Jasmine, and I make content for women who want to build a beautiful, intentional life, move with confidence, and bridge the gap between where you are today and the woman that you're becoming. Before we get started, the concept for this video literally have to give credit to God, because I was skimming through my everyday notebook that I use and I came across my notes from church back in August. Mind you, it is January 2nd of 2026. So quite some time since I've looked at these notes. And if you don't believe me, I don't believe in coincidences. I feel like I'm giving you all this message because somebody out there needs to hear it. God wouldn't have put it on my heart otherwise. I'm not going to be preaching in this video, but these notes are 1000% applicable to everyday life. So like I said, this is your reminder to not only have vision over life, but choose the end goal instead of instant gratification. Are you going through life missing out on things because you want to choose something comfortable and something easy, something that you know and you're familiar with, but you know that you have more to offer and that your potential is so much more? This is the year that I remind you to stop choosing the easy thing over the hard thing. I promise you, you will be rewarded for doing hard things. There's so much in this life that you have to look forward to. Do not miss out on it for comfortability. For me, 2025 taught me what I already knew was true as a Virgo, that without consistent structure, I am setting myself up for failure. Most people don't actually lack discipline, they lack direction. And vision is decision-making clarity. It allows you to understand what you're building, who you're becoming, and where you need to set boundaries. Once you have vision, you stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, does this align with or move me further away from my goals? Every day, you're choosing between two things: what feels good now and what's gonna pay off later. To be fair, as you're making these decisions, your brain is working against you. Naturally, its goal is to conserve energy, and anytime we think of doing something difficult or something that's way out of our comfort zone, our brain is automatically gonna start thinking a million excuses as to why you shouldn't do those things so that it can conserve energy. This can look like, oh, I'm really tired today. Maybe I should just skip that workout. Staying in an environment that you know is not for you just because it's familiar, numbing and dissociating instead of sitting with discomfort, or just choosing ease over alignment. And in that moment, the ultimate reward seems distant, quieter, and something that you can just push off. And I hate to break it to you, but at times having vision is going to come across as being boring. It just is. Just remember that discomfort is a signal. It is not a warning. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you're doing something new. Growth doesn't announce itself. It just shows up, and it shows up as discomfort. It shows up as doubt, resistance, friction, wanting to lay back in the bed and just retreat for the whole day. But every time you are met with discomfort, that is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to train your nervous system to tolerate growth. You're teaching yourself, even though I'm uncomfortable, even though this isn't satisfying, I still trust me. I've always been there for me, so I'm gonna trust this process. When you keep those promises, when you show up, when you move past the discomfort, you are building confidence. This quote that I'm about to tell you all always lights a fire under me. The cat who dreams of becoming a lion must lose its appetite for rats. And I think that quote is so powerful because ultimately what it's saying is that you cannot become a new person without shedding skin. You cannot build a new life with an old identity. If you've just had enough and you want different outcomes in 2026, you must stop outsourcing your decisions to your emotions, your environment, and your past self, or a limited mindset. So I'm going to be selective because I have someone I'm trying to become. Y'all get what I'm saying? So if you don't have an idea or a vision or a concept of what future you looks like, that's where you need to start first. There's some really good journal prompts that can really help you peel back the layers and understand who the ideal version of you is. I would like to caution you against using influencers or celebrities or other people as your inspiration or aspiration, just because everybody has their own path and their own journey. Figure out what works best for you. And with that being said, something that I have to remind myself of constantly because I am a perfectionist, this is not about perfection. The goal is never perfection. That is absolutely unattainable. The goal is intentionality, a certain level of intentionality so that you can have alignment. And alignment can look like waking up early so that you can choose the slow morning routine rather than having chaos and rushing. Having those uncomfortable conversations rather than being avoidant. Choosing the disciplined version of you that aligns with the direction that you're trying to go over the distracted one. Actually, that's something that they talked about in the sermon. There are 3 reasons that we miss out on our ultimate goals: when we are deceived, when we are distracted, and when we are disobedient. I think that for most people, especially in this day and age, the biggest one is distraction. Especially if you live in a big city in the States, everything in our environment is created to distract us. Literally looking out my window, there's a digital billboard that's constantly pushing different ads. It is a distraction. I have to be really focused in to make sure it's not a distraction from my journaling or my morning intention. I know that I will ultimately be rewarded if I stay focused, because the woman who chooses the ultimate always wins. How I've set myself up to be successful is actually a set of systems that I created back in 2024, and 2024 was an amazing year for me. First things first, you're going to do a life audit. A life audit is where you're going to evaluate different areas of your life. Those areas are going to be health, routines, relationships, career, finances, and your mindset. And you can do a life audit at any time. Now is just a great time to start because it's the beginning of a new year and you can start totally fresh. Give yourself grace. The goal isn't to be harsh. It's just to help get clarity for your vision. One thing about me, I'm always going to tell y'all to write something down. I'm a pen and paper type of gal. I'm also an iPad girly, so type it down if you'd like. Write down those categories of your life that I gave you. Be honest with yourself and rate each of them 1 through 10. And for anything under a 7, write down why it's under a 7. That'll give you insight into what needs to change. Once you've completed your life audit in those 3 easy steps and you now have insight into what needs to change, make goals and create your vision. Oftentimes we do this with a vision board. It's okay to be broad and generic. This is just the overall vision. In the spirit of authenticity, I'm going to share some of my vision for 2026 that are pretty generic for the year. Improve my emotional regulation, hit 10,000 followers on TikTok, hit 500 followers on YouTube, read 10 books, save $10,000. And now that we have vision, I can create direction. What I did in previous years that made those years really, really great is I broke it down twice. What's something that I can do this quarter to help me save $10,000? $10,000 might be an intimidating number, but I could break that down and just say, okay, this quarter I want to save $2,500. And to my brain, that seems a lot more manageable and a lot easier. And for each of my visions, I'll create a quarterly goal. And I often create quarterly goals on my Pinterest boards as another vision board and visual representation. For my quarterly vision, I break it down one more time to get direction for what I can do each month. And so that's how I come up with my monthly challenges. For January, as it relates to the saving $10,000, my challenge is to not spend any money on clothing unless I have a gift card for a specific store and I cannot spend more than that specific amount on the gift card. I am not spending any money on clothing. That is my biggest issue, just buying clothes that I don't need. I got a full closet that is bursting. And that is me breaking it down to make things even easier. Okay, so it's no longer save $2,500. Let's just not spend any money on clothes for the month. Let's see how much that saves us, you know? And if doing it on a monthly basis is too much of a challenge, make it even granular. Do what works best for you. You could break it down from yearly goals, totally skip the quarterly goals and do monthly goals, and then break it down to weekly challenges. You could do daily challenges, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, whatever you need to do to make sure that you follow the direction and give yourself enough time to think, does this choice that I'm about to make align with the direction that I have? You're golden. I hope this video has been helpful. If you like this type of content, make sure to let me know in the comments. And if you made it to the end, you might as well like and subscribe, join the Jazz Club. Like I shared, one of my visions for this year is to hit 500 followers on YouTube. Y'all also hold me accountable. Let me know if you like this type of content and what else you would like to see this month. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Feel free to ask in the comments here, or you can follow me on my other socials. I'll put them on the screen somewhere below. We are all experiencing life for the first time, so we are in this together, girl. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye.